Yes, so we are active because the market has been very active and very vibrant. I've been at TLcom for over 10 years now, and I've just seen the tremendous change in what has happened in the ecosystem. We have an investment team of 7 people. We're physically based in Nigeria, in Nairobi, and in Lagos. But in terms of, we get around the continent. We are actively always looking to speak to founders. We are engaging with other VCs that are interested in that are also investing. So there's a really good amount of engagement to find deal flow. We look at over 1,500 companies every year, so that's enough for you to invest in the 1%, the 10 or the 15 that we need in our fund. But I would say, look, beyond that, in terms of resilience, what we look for in companies is that you're solving a challenge in Africa, and you're using tech, mobile-enabled tech, to solve that challenge. That's what is the first thing that we look at. Do you have a business model that can scale? Is it something that will need a lot of capital, that will exclude a VC from participating subsequently? Is it something that really will scale across different markets? Is the founder somebody with a vision that can build a team? Those are the kind of things that we look at, and I think every VC looks at those things. But I think the point around resilience is really looking at, look, if we're building these companies, we need to ensure that we'll have enough capital. We need to ensure that the way that the companies have been built will be future fit, particularly for the volatility of some of these African markets volatility that we see in some of these African markets. And really, it's a case of when we invest a little amount of money in the first check, and then based on what is happening, if everything goes well, we then invest more money in follow-on rounds and hopefully crowd in more investments as the companies are doing better. So that's how we sort of try and build the resilience. Our investment thesis overall is about digital inclusion, because if you look at Africa, Africa is a mobile-first continent. We came into the sort of world of tech a lot later, so it's a mobile-first continent. And so our investment thesis is really looking at companies that have business models that are tech or tech-enabled, and are using those business models to solve what we call large challenges for in the African economies. And these would be challenges around financial services, around health, around agriculture, and that's what we look at. I think a good way to maybe illustrate this is to look at a company like Pula, one of our portfolio companies, which is an insurtech company. They are actually, their end client is a farmer in the rural area. There are no farmers in urban areas. So the farmers in rural areas, they're typically underserved. They're typically very vulnerable. And so what Pula is doing is actually leveraging technology to help insurance companies to insure these farmers in the event of flood or drought or whatever it is that would damage their harvest for the year. So I think that's a really powerful way of demonstrating that tech can be used to support vulnerable Africans who are underserved, and the only way that this is being done is because there's digital access in those regions. So clearly you asked this question because there's a dearth of investments going to female founders. There are not many female founders in the entire ecosystem. I think, look, first of all, to say that and I think it's been sort of proven that there's an unconscious bias. If you're a male allocator of capital, you look for people that are like you and all of that. Within TLcom, there is, I would say, a conscious bias, because more than 50% of our investment team is female, and so we are probably a lot more conscious about looking for female founders. Beyond that, we actually have on our deal flow dashboard, we're actually tracking the number of female founders that we see in our deal flow. But again, beyond that, there are 2 things that we do to really support female founders. Every year, we convene the Female Founders Summit in Africa. It's the largest gathering of female founders in the continent. And we bring them together for a number of reasons. First of all, it's a safe space for them to really talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it, the challenges that they're faced with. Second of all, we bring role models to them. We've had Julia Gillard, chairman of Vandela. We've had a female US unicorn founder. We've had Funke Okweke, who had a successful exit in this market. Just saying that, look, these things are possible, and showcasing that to them. Opportunities to network, opportunities to bring them in front of potential capital allocators. The third thing that we do is actually, if you know Eloho Omame, who joined us, is GP in First Check Africa as well. So First Check Africa is exactly what it is. It's the first check in a female-founded business. And so with First Check, we actually co-invest with First Check. And this does 2 things. First of all, again, we put money where our mouth is in supporting female founders. And potentially these are female founders these are very early checks, obviously. These are female founders that can be potential deal flow for the Tide Fund. Look, I think Africa has tremendous convening capacity. So every year, being able to bring together the entire ecosystem that is not only involved in Africa VC, but also interested in Africa VC. So you're able to bring together hundreds of people that have the same, that are aligned in terms of what they want to do for Africa. I think what is also important is, and that allows us in one place literally to all engage and come together. And you see that happening. There's a tremendous vibe, a buzz, and people are just networking all the time. I think what is also important is because you take it to different cities, and of course we're very proud that it's in Lagos this year, it also means that the investors, the ecosystem can experience the cities firsthand and really see that, beyond your investments, beyond what you hear outside of the continent, you come and you experience the culture, you experience the people, and it gives you a better sense when you're going to either allocate capital actually in funds or actually invest in companies themselves. So I think Africa is doing a tremendous job of convening us, but also ensuring that we see Africa the way it truly is instead of what we're told when we don't come and visit.